Hi everyone, I'm retired meteorologist and YouTuber, gardener, and backyard astronomer Pat Prokop, and today is Tuesday, February 11th, and we've been having some mild weather across the southeast United States, particularly in the greater Savannah, Hilton Head, Statesboro, Brunswick area. And well, that's coming to a bit of an end, at least the warmer weather portion of it. But cool to mild weather will continue over the next couple of days. Then a change to back to colder weather, back to February weather. We're going to see lows dropping back down into the 30s by the beginning of next week. Sunday night and Monday night, we should be in the 30s. Meanwhile, I'm going to be talking about in this video the weather situations across the southeast and across the country. There's about 4 storms, winter storms lined up, particularly across the middle portion of the country to the northeast part of the nation. Also, I'm going to talk about the sky at night. You know, the planets have been putting on a great parade. I got some pictures from the 11-inch telescope showing the planets. I'm going to show that near the end of the video. And also a little update on the heavenly backyard garden, and it's beginning to wake up from its winter sleep. All right, with all that being said, let's take a look, first of all, at the satellite imagery. And look, most of the country is under cloudy weather conditions. Now, it is clear off to the far north portion of the country, but that's snow on the ground there. But a lot of the center and the eastern portion of the country is under cloud cover this afternoon. Bits of southern Florida under partly cloudy skies. It's still mostly sunny, though, across the far southwest portion of the country. Let's take a look at the national weather picture, first of all. And there is the radar summary showing precipitation in the form of showers and some thunderstorms over in the eastern portions of Texas and Louisiana, and then rain developing across the upper portions of Mississippi going into Tennessee and Kentucky, and then snow changes over to snow once you get into the Appalachian Mountains, and then east of that into the Mid-Atlantic coastal states, where winter storm warnings in effect for that area there. Now some new snowstorms are developing across portions of the Ohio River into southern Indiana, heading towards southern portions of Ohio. All right, let's take a look at the advisories and warnings and watches across the country. There's that system right now that's producing the snow over into the Virginia, West Virginia, and Maryland, Delaware area, and extreme southern portions of New Jersey and Pennsylvania right now. That's, expecting perhaps 2 to 3 inches, maybe half a foot of snow in some locations there. Meanwhile, this is a new storm that's beginning to brew across the middle portion of the country. It's not snowing there yet, but a winter storm warnings in effect for areas in Nebraska all the way across Missouri, northern Missouri into Iowa and western portions of Illinois, where winter storm watches and advisories are in effect from Michigan all the way back into the panhandle of Texas, and also up into the mountains of California. They're expecting some snow. They're going to get a lot of rain in California coming up in the next several days as well. All right, let's take a look at I want to take a look at the jet stream, and it's over here, right there. Let it populate and see what's going on. The jet stream, basically, we've been under the influence of what's called the subtropical jet stream, and as that name implies, we've been having somewhat tropical weather conditions, subtropical weather conditions. There you can see the flow coming in across the southeast United States. Now, that polar vortex is way up here, coming down across central Canada toward the upper Great Lakes, and then curves around and then heads out to the Atlantic Ocean. But it is cutting across the northeast portion of the country where they're cold there. And the cold air is seeping southward into the Mid-Atlantic coastal states where that rain is changing over into snow over there. And then the another strong jet stream coming across the central Pacific Ocean. That's going to be causing havoc a little bit later on this week into the weekend with another storm that will be developing and moving into the country. But this little wave right here, that's the one that's going to be causing the next winter storm that's going to, well, looks like hammer the middle and the portion of the country over into the Missouri area, over to Chicago, Detroit, and Cleveland, with some moderate to heavy snows there, and also some moderate rains and possible thunderstorms across Georgia and South Carolina. All right, with that being said, let's take a look at the conditions across the area and looking at the satellite imagery that we just saw there. Lots of cloud covered right now, but looking at the polar jet stream once again, there it is on the map, well to the north of us, but there's the subtropical jet stream. And over time, this is going to be basically just rotating somewhat, with the subtropical jet mainly moving and dominating the portion of southeastern Georgia and southern South Carolina, but the cold air will still continue across the Great Lakes states up into the New England states, and that's where they're going to be seeing a lot more snow out there. And then another jet comes in across the western states, and that's going to produce precipitation across a large portion of California, also Oregon and Washington. But it looks like central and southern California might be getting some heavy rains associated with that system there. All right, let's take a look at the maps right now. And here we have the situation going on right now. And there you can see precipitation in the form of the snow we just saw on the radar right over here across the middle portion of the east United States over into the mid-Atlantic coastal states. Nothing much going on right now across the center and the western portion of the country, but this area of low pressure here is developing out in the southwest, and that's going to be making a beeline toward the northeast, toward the Great Lakes states, and that's the next storm system and snow. Looking at that as we go into time, this is now for Wednesday. In the mid-afternoon, Wednesday night, we're seeing snow moving into the Great Lakes over in from the Missouri area and Iowa, with showers and thunderstorms across portions of the southeast to the north of the Georgia area mostly, and another round of precipitation in the form of snow across the southern New England states, and some freezing rain perhaps across portions of the western parts of Virginia and into West Virginia. Now, as we go into time on Thursday, and going into Thursday, 10 o'clock in the morning, Thursday afternoon. Here we have Thursday afternoon, a band of showers and thunderstorms pushing across the southeast into north central portions of Florida, southeastern Georgia, including the greater Savannah, Hilton Head area, eastern South Carolina. But then that moves on out, and high pressure moves on in, with some colder air coming down in advance of that. So that's going to be cooling us off just for a little bit of time on Thursday night and Friday. But then another system starts developing. That's that other jet stream coming in from the Pacific Ocean over here across the coast of California, with moderate to heavy rains across central and southern California. Now remember, they had those horrendous fires last month ago, and the ground is not really suitable for holding rain, so there could be some flash flooding and some mudslides associated with these rains moving into the California area. Now, let's take a look as we move into time, and that system slowly approaches the mountain states and then just gets reorganized after that as another system starts developing. There it is right there. And this is now for Sunday. We're seeing another band of showers and thunderstorms. Actually, Saturday night. Here's Sunday right here. We're seeing a band of showers and thunderstorms across the lower Mississippi River Valley, east of the Mississippi River Valley, moving into Alabama and Georgia and into eastern portions of Kentucky, into West Virginia, with snow and ice across the northeast portion of the country, southern New England as well. New York City might get a mix of rain, sleet, freezing rain, and snow there, and another band of snow from Missouri and the St. Louis area across central and southern Illinois, Indiana, into the Toledo, Ohio area, and Erie, Pennsylvania, perhaps clipping Cleveland as well. And then going into Sunday afternoon, that ramps up into looks like a heavy snow event for the Cleveland area, and moving in toward Buffalo, New York, and Syracuse, New York, with freezing rain and sleet in the New York City area. Boston, sleet and snow falling across that area there. And there we see this band of thunderstorms across central portions of Georgia. That could produce some moderate to heavy rains for a brief period of times into the central and eastern Georgia. Here we have it now at 1 o'clock afternoon on Sunday, a band of showers and thunderstorms pushing across the eastern counties of Georgia and South Carolina. And then another surge of cold air comes down in advance of this large high-pressure system over the north-central states. And that's going to produce temperatures down into the mid-30s into central and eastern Georgia and southern South Carolina for Sunday night, Monday morning, and Monday night and Tuesday morning. All right, let's advance this a little bit further on, and we can see generally fair weather, chilly, but fair weather moving in across the southeast United States. And then nothing going on for a while. But then another storm tries to develop, and there it is right there. We're way out in advance now. We're over here into Wednesday night, Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, right there, early afternoon. And it's showing another large storm across the Great Lakes states into the central and northern Ohio River Valley, with the snow and ice across portions of North Carolina, up into western North Carolina, into the western portions of Virginia and West Virginia, with potential of sleet, freezing rain, and snow falling across there. And again, here we are. This is well in advance. This is a 222-hour forecast, so anything can really change beyond that fact. We have to just keep an eye on it. But the indications are something could develop across that area, but it'll be precipitation in the form of rain here in Georgia and South Carolina. Let's just advance this just a little bit more, and there we can see, a little band of showers and thunderstorms again moving into southeastern Georgia. We're starting to get into that time of the year where thunderstorms are going to be a little bit more needed to be watched as we go into beginning of the severe weather season. Let's take a look at the potential right now for this afternoon, for Monday or Tuesday afternoon. The chance for severe thunderstorms is very low across the south central portion of the country into Alabama, and then going into day 2, there is a better chance for some showers and thunderstorms that could be severe across Louisiana, southern and central Mississippi, and a large portion of Alabama, and an extreme west-northwestern portion of Georgia. And then as we go into day 4 is a slight chance for some thunderstorms across central portions of Georgia and northwest South Carolina. All right, let's take a look at the potential for snow, because it's not going to be snowing in Georgia or South Carolina. But if you're traveling off to the north, it's going to be a very difficult situation over the next several days with the potential for snow. Let's just take a look at the total snow accumulation. There you can see from that first storm that's moving across the area on Tuesday and Tuesday night into Wednesday morning over here in the mid-Atlantic coastal states. You can see up there, some higher elevations up to maybe a foot of snow possible across those areas. And then that new storm starts developing across Kansas, Nebraska, moving into Iowa and Missouri. And as it comes out of Colorado, let's advance into time as we go into the day on Thursday. Here we go, Thursday, late mid-afternoon, and it shows the band of snow that has extended across portions of the Central Plains into the Ozarks, into the Great Lakes states, Michigan particularly, in the Detroit area, about a half foot of snow potential there. And then as we go into time, you can see the accumulation continues to increase. The next storm comes in and dumps a lot of snow across northern Indiana, northern Ohio, into the eastern and southeastern Michigan area, and then also into the New England areas. A lot of snow, particularly up into the northeast to the mid-Atlantic, the Midwest portion of the country in the upper Mississippi Valley. So that's going to be affecting airline traffic over the next several days, particularly from the hubs from Boston, New York, over to Philadelphia, Cleveland, Detroit, St. Louis, Chicago. All those airports are going to have major problems, looks like, off and on for the next several days. All right. Let's take a look at the total precipitation potential, rainfall, particularly across the southeast. Let's take a look at that over the next several days. And there we can see rain totals starting to accumulate, particularly in the upper portions of northwestern Georgia, a little band from the southwest portion of Louisiana, western Louisiana, eastern Texas, up into Mississippi, Alabama, northwest Georgia, eastern Tennessee, into western North Carolina. Here in the greater Savannah area, Hilton Head area, not that much, maybe a half inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain expected on Thursday with this system. Then as we go into the next several days, more precipitation. Looks like a corridor of moderate rains will be heavy rains too, extending across the Tennessee Valley into the northern portions of Mississippi and Alabama and northwestern Georgia, extending eastward into western and central North Carolina and Virginia. Look out in the west, California, a lot of heavier rains falling out in that area as well. That'll be snow up in the higher elevations of the Sierra Nevadas out there, but over in portions of the portion of California, there's potential for 2 to 5 inches of rain in that area over the next several days. And then as we progress in time, the rain continues to abate somewhat with the next system perhaps following that. But that's just too far in advance to really put any information on that. All right, let's take a quick look at the forecast on my webpage, savannahpat.name. And there you can see we got clouds today, and it's going to stay cloudy. We should see a mix of sun and clouds on Wednesday, and then Thursday a chance for thunderstorms under partly cloudy skies. But look at the temperatures. They go back into the upper 70s, flirting with 80 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday, and then chilling down on Friday with highs only in the lower 60s, but then warming back up Saturday as that next system comes in, and chance for showers, maybe some thunder activity on Sunday, and then Sunday night clearing off 36 degrees for the low, and then going into Monday, a high only in the upper 50s with lows in the middle 30s. Beyond that, temperatures will begin to fluctuate once again. So my outlook for the next 6 weeks, that's just an outlook. It's not a forecast. It's an average of the conditions over a 7-day period. And we're going to be above normal temperature-wise for the next 7 days, but then chilling down by the end of that period. But then going into week 2, we'll actually be below normal for the average, and then slightly below normal for week number 3, which is the end of February, early portion of March, back to normal around the early portion of March. What about the St. Patrick's Day week and so forth in the greater Savannah area? It looks like we're going to be averaging slightly above normal, so the azaleas will probably be in full bloom during this time. Will be a bit on the dry side overall, and then the mild weather should continue after St. Patrick's Day going into the beginning of the season of spring. Speaking of spring, let's take a look at what's going on in the heavenly backyard garden. I've been doing a lot of work over the last several days. You have not been seeing too many videos from me because I've been out working in the garden. The daylilies are waking up, so I've been cleaning them up, adding some compost to the soil there to help with the moisture containment in the garden itself. But you can see the garden is beginning to take somewhat of a new shape. I reshaped it during the fall and the winter months, basically moving several gardens and pathways around. And the vegetables, I got the broccoli. The broccolini now is also there. There's the broccolini, and it's coming up. I planted those from 6 packs of seeds from Hester and Zipperer, if you want to get some broccolini. And also I got broccoli plants. And the broccoli plants I planted last October, they're still producing broccoli. Even after that severe freeze we had during the winter months with all that sleet and snow, it didn't kill those plants, and they're still producing broccoli, little florets of broccoli. And I'll be having some of those tonight and tomorrow. And the cabbage is still going, and the Brussels sprouts, well, they just laughed at the cold, it seemed. They're still growing, producing some little Brussels sproutettes so far. Hopefully about another 6 weeks, I'll be harvesting some Brussels sprouts. And I got some new cauliflower plants, planted it in the ground. Now, the potato plants that I planted in the fall, a lot of them got bit by that cold wave, but I also I tried to protect them, and some of them did survive, and there you can see them right there. They did survive the cold wave, and they're still growing right now, so that's good news. And then I planted more potatoes, another 8 pounds of Pontiac red potatoes. They're in the ground. They'll be up in about 10 days or so, 10 to 14 days, and this is the time in southeast Georgia and southern South Carolina, southern Georgia, to plant potatoes. Early February is the best time to plant potatoes. You don't want to wait too long. But be careful when you plant them that you don't overwater them until they start coming up. Try to keep them just cool and moist. That's what they want right now. All right, let's take a look at the sky at night as I look at a couple of daffodils that are in bloom right now. You know, there's been a lot of activity and a lot of talk about the parade of planets. Well, it's real. They're out there up in the sky near you, in your own backyard. Even in the city, you can see the planets at night because they're some of the brightest of the stars that shine at night. And as a matter of fact, Venus is the 3rd brightest object up in the sky, and it is shining right now still high up in the southwestern sky, but it's slowly beginning to fade away now. And if you watch it over the next several nights, you're going to start seeing it slowly start sinking closer and closer to the twilight and the sunset and eventually by the middle of March, it'll be gone out from the evening sky. So enjoy it while you can. If you look at it through a telescope, this is what it looks like. It looks like a crescent moon, and it's slowly getting thinner and thinner, but as it gets thinner and thinner, it's getting closer and closer, and it's due to the orbits of the Earth and the planet Venus. So even though it's getting less of a planet to see, it's getting closer, so more of the light shines. And right now, it is at its most brilliant portion of its phase. And even at this thin crescent right now, it is shining brightly. Then you have, well, you got Uranus and Neptune, but you can't see those without the aid of a telescope. I did see Uranus the other night. Let's take a look at some of those pictures right now. I couldn't get Saturn because it was behind the trees, but there's Venus, and then there's Uranus, the greenish blue, and then in between there you have Jupiter. Jupiter is brilliant right now. And also high up in the sky is the planet Mars. So Mercury will be making its appearance in the evening sky in about 2 weeks, but right now it's very difficult to see Mercury. But there are the planets, the parade of planets, as seen from the heavenly backyard. So thanks to all of those who have been supporting my page. I showed some of the supporters earlier in the video, and again, thank you very much for that. And okay, the weather's going to be changing a lot over the next several days, particularly to the north of us, where they're going to be getting lots of winter weather conditions from the Midwest into the Great Lakes states, into the New England states, even the Mid-Atlantic coastal states. For us, we're going to see some rains, perhaps beneficial rains, hopefully, not too much and not too little, just about right. Okay, and don't forget, now we're approaching the middle portions of February, are heading into what's called the severe weather season. So we'll start getting more information about potential thunderstorms and tornado activities in the next several weeks. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And you can find more information. I'll be posting when we have threats of any like that type of weather moving into our area. You can find me right here on my Pat's Weather and Nature channel right here on YouTube. With that being said, enjoy the pre-spring weather conditions, and one last look at those daffodils as I close out, and I'll say see you later.